with a possibility of a dream match and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Asked if she had been in a street fight in pro wrestling, AEW star Sky Blue said this on the Talk is Jericho podcast. "No, I've been dying for one. Please, Tony Khan, please. Every girl tag street fight, you need a run-in, you need another body, I can do it. I'll do it. I'll take whatever." When it comes to a match for her at the Showcase of the Immortals, Bayley told the New York Post, "If I'm able to work with Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, that would just be a dream match I never even thought of before. She is obviously untouchable. She is the most talked about woman on TV right now, and she backs it up. She doesn't just have the look. She doesn't just have the body. She doesn't just have, besides Damage Control, a badass group to align with. She's so good, and it makes me so mad. I'm like, why are you so good? You were so young. I can't even throw a dropkick, and she can do one over my head." Just little things that she does that she's able to do and portray on TV is very hard to do, and she does it with ease. Speaking about the Young Bucks being set to face Sting and Darby Allin for the Icons' final match at AEW Revolution, Matt Hardy said on his Extreme Life podcast, "I say it here ad nauseum and once again to piss everyone off that are not on the Young Bucks train. The Bucks are truly amazing. They can get in the ring. They're so good. They know what they're doing. They can lead people that are a little older. Their bodies are a little more broken down. They can lead them to great matches. They're just so talented. They're really, really good, and they're truly underrated. Their actual work as a tag team is underrated. I know a lot of people give them a hard time because, oh, they're spot monkeys and they do this and they do that, or they play politics because they're EVPs. They're both good dudes, and they're both incredible professional wrestlers. If that does end up being Sting's final match, Sting and Darby versus the Young Bucks, they're gonna tear the house down. It's gonna be great, guaranteed." With him having been out of action from WWE due to a shoulder injury since September, Sheamus could be seen recovering ahead of his return to the company using his cold plunge. Talking about working on screen with the Judgment Day in WWE, R-Truth told Busted Open Radio, "I was happy. I was ready to get out of the house and go back to the sport that I love. When they said I was working with Judgment Day, I was like, let's do it. What are we doing? They could have said I was working with anybody and I was ready. I will say this, Judgment Day, they all want me. Just the first promo, I will say Damian Priest, he was like, bro, we should keep you around. This thing is working." He actually went to, I think it was Hunter and the Riders. Damian Priest fought for it. As AEW ended up restricting comments on their post that showed Deonna Purrazzo receiving body-shaming remarks, the woman herself responded to this, writing on X, "Oh, I've already seen it. I had to cry. Then I realized my worth is not determined by 1, my body, 2, others' perception of me. I am a 5-time world champion. I've worked with nearly every major company in the world. I am one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. Furthermore, I just earned my bachelor's degree. I'm looking to start a master's program. And most importantly, I have a husband who thinks I am beautiful, whether I'm a size small or medium. I've never ever been a size small. They are entitled to their opinion, and I'm entitled to tell them to kiss this fat ass." Touching on changes set for WWE following the exit of Kevin Dunn from his role in production, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said, "For those that drew the comparison to NXT, you'd be correct. We're told that Triple H allowed Jeremy Borash to put together a team in NXT for the past 3 years where it would be safely under Kevin Dunn's radar. Triple H was said to have been happy with how they played out, and with Dunn's departure, there is a door open to feature that style of promos across all WWE shows." We've spoken to several people associated with helping put together the promos that spoke highly of the new process and the freedom to them. One source noted that under Dunn, the segment would have likely cut away to several different things, but the new method was to let the characters breathe and the segment to play out. Explaining why he ended up signing with WWE after his deal with AEW expired, Lexis King said this on Insight with Chris Van Vliet. It wasn't so much a decision as it was a necessary transition. I think my time came up in AEW. It was a great run, a great deal financially. I did very well there. It was that doubt about the future, about whether they were going to use me, and they were going to use me. It became apparent when they didn't re-sign me. So God bless the agents who picked up the phone on the day my contract ran up and they got me signed. I think I got paychecks from both companies in the same month. That's how quickly the ball got rolling. During that same interview, Lexis King revealed what led to his name change in WWE, saying, "I don't want to get into it, but it is my name, so when I got there, I was like, hi, I'm Brian Pillman Jr., yada yada yada. Then they gave me the whole, you can't keep your name kind of talk, and I was like, well, I don't want to make it seem like that's a bad thing, which it's not. You know, coming into it, I always fantasized about having my own wrestler name, because my whole career I've had his name. My whole life I've had someone else's name. I've been walking around with someone else's name. Brian Pillman is a name that my father made. He made that name on his own. There's not much I can add to it." Going over his involvement with TNA Wrestling and his decision to debut for the promotion, Dolph Ziggler said this during an interview with TNA Sam Laterna. "I had a lot of time to think in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months to where, what can I add to extend my legacy but also have an entirely different chapter, a different mindset, a different person. I said I really feel like I'm a wanted man because the day I left my last job, I had so many. I'm so lucky that I had so many people reach out. Not to say thank you or whatever, none of that stuff, congrats. A bunch of people reached out instantly and said, we want you here. I go, man, it is great to feel that. I'm very fortunate and lucky that people said, how can we get you? What can we do? I was like, I'm kind of a wanted man. It got me more excited. Like, I'm back in. Okay. I was like, I could show up and be a hired gun here. I could take this guy out and we could go run. I'm figuring out where could we go, and I watched TNA go to Impact and became TNA in the special moment at Hard to Kill, where this is a coming out party for TNA again. I go, that could be a perfect fit. Hopefully I can back it up in the ring other than just talking about it and showing up. As Cora Jade reportedly suffered an ACL injury after only recently coming back to NXT, Steve Carrier of Ringside News gave an update on her possible return timeline. Writing on X, recovering from a torn ACL typically requires a span of 6 to 9 months if surgery is required. Athletes may require a slightly longer healing period before receiving medical clearance to resume their sports activities. This means that it's unlikely that Cora Jade will be able to return to action before July if her injury requires surgery. It also takes additional time to get cleared and injected back into WWE storylines. Despite her injury, Cora Jade seemed to be in good spirits, celebrating her 23rd birthday. Following a successful title defense against Jinder Mahal on Raw, it appears that WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins is not at 100%, with it reported that Seth Rollins suffered a legitimate injury to his left leg late in his Raw main event win against Jinder Mahal. Multiple PW Torch sources backstage at Raw say that he was helped in the back and eventually put weight on it. He was walking on his own, but with a definite limp. He will be further evaluated to determine the severity of the injury. Giving a status update on Brock Lesnar being at the Royal Rumble event, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that maybe next week, I would think this would not be the week to have Brock Lesnar return, given this might be one of the lower rated shows, considering they went against the football games and the Emmy Awards. If he's going to return for the Rumble, next week would be the week. If he's going to return after, it could be a couple weeks later. I would presume he's in the Rumble, and I presume any angle he's going to do would be shot in the Rumble itself. Sticking with Lesnar, it seems a dream match could be in the works for WrestleMania 40, as Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio. I was thinking about Lesnar versus Gunther. I don't know that, but I was thinking about that. Cody Rhodes is not in the match unless they're going to do a three-way, but they've already done Cody and Brock. They're not going to do that again. Taking to social media, Drew McIntyre would call out CM Punk, posting this video the other day.
I'm here in Las Cruces for tonight's live event, and guess who's not here? The same person that claimed on Monday they would lead by example. CM Punk. Don't be a hypocrite, mate. Leading by example would suggest you're outworking everyone, and we both know that's not true. I look at you and see the same old Punk. Very big name, very good, and here to make money, not friends. Your words, not mine. That's the truth, and that's okay. Check my schedule these last few years. Very few come close to the amount of live events, TV, media, high-level media you can only trust so many people with. Community work, I'm very proud to be the global ambassador for Special Olympics. You know, all that stuff, that's setting an example, and I do it, not because I have to, simply because I love it. Maybe check my work outside of WWE. I evolved, grew business everywhere. It got to the point where WWE started investing in multiple places where I was champion, and it finally became clear to me, I guess it's time to go back home and finish what I started as a kid. You? Insert big name into company and get some attention, lots of attention. And that's okay. Just own it. That's your role. Back in the day, you were a lot of negative things, so many negative things that are going to be talked about soon enough when it's time. You were also a workhorse. Now, not so much. And that's okay. You'll serve your purpose, and I will eliminate you in the Royal Rumble for both in there together, because no one's going to stop me finally having the moment I have earned. Especially you. Oh, and if you actually did some research, maybe you wouldn't have said something as ignorant as I'm not known for my talking. I'm pushed. I can even overshadow the best in the world. Smiling, cheesy Drew is dead. Drew McIntyre's back.
For his interview with Chris Van Vliet, Lexis King would mention the reaction of fans to his beard. As he said, that's something that worked out for me. It's all about engagement and getting fans interested. It's funny because I saw a fan say, oh, Trick and Mello hooked him up with their barber, and that's true. It's funny because I moved to Orlando and I thought I need to hit someone up and find the best barber. So I texted Mello while I hit him on Twitter because I didn't have his phone number at the time. I said, hey man, who's the best barber in Orlando? He said, don't worry man, I'll hook you up with Charlie. Accusing Vince McMahon of sabotage when it came to the WWE reboot of ECW. Sabu told stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw. Most people who were used to ECW, we had almost every match an extreme matchup. I don't agree with that, but you need at least one no rules match on the show. We do WWE shows with no hardcore matches, no tables, no chairs, not even one match. And that's because of Vince trying to kill it on purpose. We acknowledged them. Fans, we didn't ignore them. When they gave us a chair, we took that chair and used it. We made them part of the show. We didn't ignore them. They know what wrestling is, but WWE chooses to kayfabe. That was back then. After battling through pneumonia and 2 heart attacks, one of the Wild Samoans, Afa, is set to be released from the hospital, with it said in a Facebook post. Update on Afa the Wild Samoan, affectionately known as Pops. Afa was admitted to the hospital last night with pneumonia, but had a mild heart attack upon arrival. Today, he had a second small heart attack and was sent for a heart catheterization. He is doing okay. His spirits are high. He isn't out of the woods yet, but will be kept in the hospital for a day or two for observation and monitoring. He thanks everyone for their concern, continued love, and prayers. Office promotion then wrote, it's been a harrowing few days, but our beloved Pops, WWE Hall of Famer Afa the Wild Samoan, is coming home from the hospital today. He battles pneumonia and 2 mild heart attacks, but in his own words, I kicked out at 1, and they posted this video. Giving an update on former WWE star Mustafa Ali, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reported that we've heard from indie promoters that Mustafa Ali's impact on ticket sales for some of his first events are the most they've seen for a WWE departure in years. With Grayson Waller returning to his home country of Australia, he would post this video.
Oh, it's been a tough few months having to go through the American winter, but I'm finally home. I'm here in Sydney. I legit couldn't be happier. This is as good as it gets.
Sweet smile.
What are you doing here? Are you who invited you?
On his Instagram story, Angelo Dawkins showed off his physical transformation, posting a before and after photo. Despite a long wait, Chelsea Green has received her green card, as she wrote, "Only my fellow expats understand the stress of the immigration system. I am so relieved to say after 8 years, 5 pro wrestling companies, and 4 visas, I finally have my green card." Recalling her pitch to hang from the Money in the Bank briefcase and fall on her opponents in 2019, Dana Brooke said on Busted Open Radio that, "I honestly think they, WWE, didn't believe in me. You know, producers TJ Wilson was a very big advocate for me, and he would always be like, Dana can do it, Dana can do it, Dana can do it, and it wasn't happening." And I wasn't that girl. I wasn't the girl that they were trying to push to that next level. I was the one that I was always given to take the pinfall, and I was okay with it, thinking in my mind, there's going to be a shot. There's going to be that next time, and there just never was that next time. I fought so hard, I'll never forget this, and I think it was 2018 or 19 in the Money in the Bank match where I wanted to hang from the briefcase and swing from it and fall, and a pile of girls catch me, and they're like, no, no, no. That's a little too dangerous. I'm like, do you not know I was in gymnastics for 18 years and the bar was this high? I would do double backflips and layoffs out from underneath the bars. I promise you I'm okay. Just let me do it. And it would be a wow factor, and I just don't think that they had the confidence in me. Touching on not receiving medical clearance to return to action in WWE, Dakota Kai said during a Twitch stream, "I'm so sick of seeing people saying she can run and jump, but she's not cleared still. No, that's not how this works. Obviously, I can run and jump because I've been doing it for the last few months, but they have a set date for when you actually get cleared because I have to still do matches, and they have to check all the boxes of when I'm actually cleared. I'm not going to be in a wheelchair for 9 months and then suddenly stand up and go, I'm cured. That's not how it works." Revealing how Randy Orton assisted him through some difficult times, Matt Riddle told the Kurt Angle show, "He really helped me out through a lot of tough times because I was going through a divorce at the time and everything else. And he's been through a similar situation. And he was just a real brother, and especially, when you're on the road, it's not like I can call anybody. To have him there and be that supportive, because you know how Randy can be, and for him to be as supportive to me, it was nice. Randy has a spot in my heart forever." Responding to what was a controversial comment he made regarding Dolph Ziggler, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast, "I made a statement one time on the kickoff show. When I'm on the kickoff show, I'm working. I said Dolph Ziggler's going to look back on his career and he's going to realize how many moments he missed because he always wanted to go out there, steal the show, all the championship wins. All of that because he wanted to steal the show. Man, they ate me up on Twitter for saying that. Haha, man, I'm working. I'm a character here. But nah, man, Ziggler is not underrated. He is truly one of the guys that did it the best. He is truly one of the all-time greats." Touching on making appearances for promotions on the independent scene, Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, told Sam Laterna on TNA's Instagram page, "Of course, yeah, I'm going to bounce around. I said I was very fortunate when I announced that I was. Actually, I didn't announce it. WWE announced it. The outpouring. It wasn't just congrats. It was, can we get you here? I'm very fortunate, and I was in a little bubble because I always just did with this one company. I never got to see it for myself or go with another company or just fly myself to Japan. I'm doing all of these things, and it's really exciting because I didn't really have a chance in the last 20 years. I was focused on some other things. I go, this is so exciting for me that I want to bounce around. You're going to see me on the independents. You're going to see me showing up. I'm hitting Puerto Rico this weekend and bouncing around. I hope I can make that work to where it's like I show up somewhere, everybody's better because I was there, and now you want to come back next time because you know I'm coming back again. I want to do that in as many places as I can, and there's a million people out there that I want to get in the ring with, and it's going to be a special year or two before we even start it over again. I'm really looking forward to it. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.